Welcome to Friday Night Heights. We're at the Lloyd Noble Center for Meet 2 of our doubleheader. Tonight, the #1 Sooners host the 8th-ranked Kentucky Wildcats. This is Friday Night Heights, presented by Sprouts Farmers Market. Take a look at the standings in the conference to this point. All 9 teams in the SEC are in the top 15 in the country. Currently, Oklahoma and Kentucky, number 1 and 4 in the SEC. And they're going head-to-head tonight here in Norman, Oklahoma. And hi, everybody, I'm Bart Connor, along with Trinity Thomas, the Florida All-American, and it's great to have you here in your broadcasting debut. Are you excited?
I am so excited. Thank you.
Now, you competed a lot against the Oklahoma Sooners. They're currently the best team in the country. What qualifies Oklahoma to be the best? What is it about their gymnastics that is so good?
Oklahoma's gymnastics is pristine. I've never seen more attention to detail, and that's what makes them so great.
Kentucky has a chance to knock them off tonight. Kentucky is a team on the rise. They're led by Tim Garrison. They've had a couple of big home meet scores and a couple of road meet scores that are quality, but they're hoping for a high road meet score tonight and maybe a win against the Sooners to improve their chances of being in that evening session of the SEC championship. And their senior leadership really delivered for them last week.
Yes, huge stuck vault. And then Skylar Kiloff-Wilhelm swung her way to a 9.95. Kentucky's beam queen, Isabella Magnelli, with a 9.925. And then the anchor closed out the night, Haley Davis on floor with a 9.925.
Oklahoma Sooners are led by KJ Kindler's she looks pretty relaxed tonight. She's in her 19th season here at Oklahoma. They've had a solid performance so far in the first 5 meets. Of course, the #1 and 2 all-arounder in the country are going to be competing tonight, and that's Faith Torres and Jordan Bowers. They were amazing on bars last week against Arkansas.
Lily led off great. Addison followed with a career high with her best routine of the season. And then Faith Torres delivered once again with a 9.95. And then for the 20th time in her career, Audrey Davis earned a 9.95 on bars. Jordan Bowers then closed out the rotation for the Sooners with a 9.925. What a bar rotation.
All right, we're ready to start the competition here at the Lloyd Noble Center in Norman, Oklahoma. Oklahoma, as the home team, gets what we call the Olympic order. They'll start on the vault. The visiting team, Kentucky, will start on the bars. You can see their respective lineups in this first of 4 rotations. Young Lily Peterson is in that leadoff spot. She's just a freshman out of Minnesota, but Lou Ball, the head coach, associate head coach, has said that he trusts her in this position. She's already scored as much as 9.925.
Lily is incredible on this event. She's already stuck.
Oh.
That was near stuck. Step on the landing for Lily.
Kentucky's on the bars in this first of 4 rotations, and this is a terrific event for the Kentucky Wildcats. They are high-flying, do huge release moves and huge dismounts. This is really one of the most exciting bars teams in the country, in my opinion. Isabella Ravelli will lead them off here.
She's going to start off with a Jaeger.
Wow, so high.
Right down to the low bar with a shoot over. A little short on that cast handstand. Double layout dismount. Okay, a stuck landing.
Good start in that leadoff spot. Leadoff is a key role in gymnastics, especially in an away meet. You really got to get some momentum for your team because the home team is feeling the energy from that home crowd. Quick reminder how the dual meet format works. 6 gymnasts will compete on each event for each team. You count just the best 5 out of those 6 scores towards the team total. And as I mentioned, the home order is what we call the Olympic order, meaning the home team starts on vault, finishes on floor, and we go back to Oklahoma City, to Oklahoma on the vault. 9.9 was the leadoff score for Lily Peterson in that leadoff spot, even with that step on the landing.
That's a big score, especially in the leadoff spot.
Now, Faith Torres has already stuck a couple of vaults this year, so eager to see what she can deliver here for the Sooners. waiting for the judges to give the green flag, and here it is. It's an 82-foot runway, and she'll launch herself over the vault table and try to stick it.
Yes, Faith is great on this event. Yurchenko 1.5. Wow.
Oh my goodness, again.
Wow.
I think that's 3 in a row.
That was amazing.
What did you like about that vault, Trinity?
The height on that vault, and then look at how perfect she lands, straight up and down. She is excited about that, as she should be.
Expect a big score. Now, if Lily Peterson with a step got a 9-9, and it only gets better from there, what are we going to see for the Sooners tonight? They haven't broken that 198 this year. Perhaps tonight is the night. Ryan Noonan now on bars after the 9.825 for Elizabeth Ravelli.
I love her bar composition. It's actually very similar to a routine I did in my freshman, sophomore year. Nice cast handstand there. Gearing up for the dismount, double layout. Another stick, chest a little bit low, but she fought for that landing.
Isabella Ravelli, 9.825 was her score in that leadoff spot. Talk about the under rotation you mentioned, Trinity.
Yes, so you'll see here, her chest is a little low, so she could have took a step, but she fought for that landing.
Judges will be taking a minor deduction for that break in body line in the last part of that double layout, but no deduction for the landing, that's for sure. 9.975 was the score for Faith Torres. That means one judge gave her a 10, one a 9.95. Here is Addison Feda.
This is a newer vault for her. Yurchenko 1.5. She can do it well. Just a hop on the landing. What a great vault for Addison. Nice height. Just a little bit too much power there. I've seen her stick that vault. She's going to get it this season.
You know, of course, Addison quite well. You both grew up in Pennsylvania, went to the same club. She's coached by her parents, Tony and Jen. We'll talk more about that later in the show, but what a freshman year she is having.
Yes.
9.8 was the score for Ryan Noonan in that second spot. This is Annie Reigert now. She's in the lineup because Jillian Prokaski was supposed to be competing, but she didn't make the trip because she's ill and she's back home in Kentucky.
Well, that was a beautiful Jaeger. The height was incredible. Nice shoot over to handstand. This bar routine is stunning so far. Almost got the stick, fought for that landing. Beautiful routine.
Tim Garrison likes his gymnasts to go big on bars, and they fly high, don't they?
Yes, and this was just about as high as you can go. It was stunning, beautiful, so far above the bar. It's exactly what the judges are looking for.
Talking to Tim this week, he said his goal on bars is to make them take notice. And if you fly high on those big release moves, it impresses the judges for sure. Kira Wells now, the sophomore from Augusta, Kansas, coming after Addison Feda, 9.875.
Another Yurchenko 1.5. Oh, beautiful in the air, but a large step back on that.
We talked about how high the Kentucky gymnasts fly in their release moves. Let's talk about some of the things that judges are specifically looking for, Trinity.
Yes, so on bars, the judges are looking for those handstands to be straight up on top of the bar to have no deductions. The releases need to fly high above the bar like we were just talking about, Bart. And then the dismount, high and stuck.
Haley Davis, the senior from North Carolina, after Annie Reigert had a 9.85.
Another Jaeger. A little quick on these cast handstands. She's going to be looking for a nice dismount here. Another stuck double layout.
Nice.
That was a beautiful dismount.
Haley currently in her 5th season pursuing her master's degree.
Here comes that blind Jaeger. Nicely done. Handstand just a little shy. Right down to the low bar. Shoot over.
See our little protractor on the tech tools there. Within 10 degrees of a perfect handstand is a no deduction, so she was just a little short of that. Here's Jordan Bowers coming after Kira Wells had a 9.85.
Big Yurchenko one.
Oh!
Wow.
That was something.
Now that, wow.
How does she do it week in and week out?
And KJ said something about getting 2 sticks on vault at least, so there she goes.
What is it about her
Nice.
vault you like?
Oh, she's beautiful in the air. Legs are squeezed perfectly together. Chest is up on that landing. That was just amazing.
Twice in her career, she scored perfect 10s on the vault. Expect a big score there as we go back to Delaney Rodriguez now out of Las Vegas, competing tonight in the all-around for Kentucky. 9.875 was the score for Haley Davis before her.
Nice shoot over. Little short on that last cast. Beautiful height on that double out. Just a small hop forward there.
We mentioned the Oklahoma Sooners, the #1 team in the country. They have been very explosive on vault over the years. And they do a high degree of difficulty on vault, which is always an advantage because they typically have more gymnasts doing vaults that come from the 10.0 start value than their competitors, which gives them an advantage. Here's Elle Miller. She is in for Audrey Davis, who was just pulled out of the lineup after the 9.95 came in for Jordan Bowers.
And she will also compete at Yurchenko 1.5.
Nice.
Step forward. Otherwise, great vault. She's one of their stellar freshmen.
She has been sort of knocking at the door to get in the lineup. This is her debut tonight for the Sooners in the vault lineup. Oklahoma off to an awesome start, so they gave her a chance and chose to rest Audrey Davis, who is normally a very predictable, solid vault, but a chance for the Sooners to get a little experience for the freshman Elle Miller out of Minnesota. There's no like off weeks in the SEC, right? So you can't really go easy, but the Sooners are doing great on vault, and they use that opportunity to give a new experience to a young freshman.
Yes, absolutely. And those opportunities, like you said, don't come often in the SEC.
Skylar Kilo-Wellhelm now, the transfer from Washington.
Height Jaeger right down to the low bar, shoot over to horizontal.
She's just a complete gymnast. She's good everywhere on all 4 apparatus. She's doing the all-around tonight.
She is, and she's so clean. I love that about her. Double layout. Whoop, that's all right. Nice bar routine.
Skylar Kilo-Wellhelm, when she competed at Washington, had many accolades, bringing her skills now
Nice
to Kentucky.
pike Jaeger. Right down to the low bar. Here's that dismount, the hop, but she caught herself.
So the Oklahoma Sooners, you can see their score is a 49.55. We're waiting on the score for Kentucky on the bars. We'll know the final score after the first of 4 rotations. Monday, we've got women's basketball here on the SEC Network as number 15 Oklahoma hosts Auburn here in the Lloyd Noble Center. The action gets underway at 8 Eastern. Here are the respective coaches of the 2 teams. There's KJ Kindler in her 19th season at Oklahoma, and what a career she has had. Not only 6 national championships, but what really impresses me is in 15 years, she has been top three, 13 out of 15 years. You see their upcoming schedule. They have a couple of big meets coming up as well, including LSU and Trinity. Your team, Florida, in a couple of weeks. There is Tim Garrison, the head coach in his 14th season at Kentucky. They'll be moving to the vault in this second rotation. You see their upcoming schedule for the rest of the regular season.
Let's take a look at the sports science during the Holmes-Bar routine at the 2017 NCAA semifinals.
Welcome inside the Lloyd Noble Center. I'm Bart Connor along with Trinity Thomas in her broadcasting debut. And we're here tonight with the #1 Oklahoma Sooners hosting the #8 Kentucky Wildcats. You know, we talk about Oklahoma being almost unbeatable here. They're 150-4 in this building. You competed against them when you were at Florida. What makes Oklahoma so good?
Yes, Oklahoma is absolutely incredible at what they do. Their skills are like no other. They have their legs, toes pointed together, everything perfect.
Well, we're really proud to have you on our telecast, and of course, your list of accomplishments are pretty substantial, Trinity. Well, hey, hang on a second. Yeah, you've done so many things, there's no room for me even. 28 career 10s, 34 SEC female All-Americans. You've done it all. It's a lot more than I've ever accomplished, but we're honored to have you here, Trinity. And let's look back at some of your highlight performances against these two teams, both Kentucky and Oklahoma. What do you think when you see that young lady out there?
Oh my goodness, it makes me want to get on the floor right now. I miss these days. These were the best days ever. Love competing, especially floor. It's my favorite event. Double layout, one of my favorite skills.
'28 perfect 10s in your incredible career, tied for the most in NCAA history, and we're glad to have you working as a broadcaster. What do you think of all this?
It's a lot. It's different, but I'm getting used to it, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, you'll do great. Okay, so the Oklahoma Sooners have the lead after the first of 4 rotations. They will go to the uneven bars, and the visiting Kentucky Wildcats, who trail, they will be on the vault in rotation 2. When we come back, you'll see Mackenzie Wilson for Kentucky on the vault. She is explosive. And on the bars, you're not going to want to miss the sublime Audrey Davis. Perhaps one of the best in the country, reigning NCAA champion. Don't go away. Host the 8th-ranked Kentucky Wildcats. I'm Bart Connor, joined by Florida All-American Trinity Thomas here in Lloyd Noble Center tonight in Norman, Oklahoma. Now, Kentucky is led by 5th-year senior Skylar Killer-Wilhelm. Last year competed for the University of Washington. This taking her 5th year now for the Kentucky Wildcats. And Trinity, she is just absolutely spectacular everywhere.
Yes, she is a very important team player here, and she's had a short impact, but she's had a major impact very quickly. I'm very impressed with her.
Here are some of her accolades. She's the transfer from Washington, as I mentioned. Their coach, Jen Llewellyn, took off to be the head coach at the University of Iowa. So Skylar sort of threw her name out there in the transfer portal, and Tim Garrison, the head coach at Kentucky, said, wow, wouldn't it be great to get her? Turns out she loves equestrian. And so she came to Kentucky, and, you know, if you like equestrian, you probably love Kentucky. So she has been an important contributor to the team here, just here in this is their 5th meet of the season. And they'll be on vault in this next rotation. The Oklahoma Sooners on the bars. You can see their respective lineups. There is Chad Wiest, the assistant coach in that white shirt and tie, who is giving them some final notes. The Sooners have a lead just under 0.3 of a point. All these meets are really close in the conference. There really are no off weeks, are there, Trinity?
Not any at all. The SEC is a tough conference to compete in.
Cecily Rizzo will be first up on vault for Kentucky. Kentucky has a lot of variety in their skills. Don't you like that?
Yes, I love it. Cecily is doing a Yurchenko full, but she's been working a 1.5, so hopefully we'll see that later in the season. And that was gorgeous. Just a small shuffle.
When I think about Kentucky gymnastics, I think about big gymnastics. High-flying releases, very powerful tumbling and
Look at the height she gets off of that table. Like to see a little bit more open hips, coming down into the landing. That was gorgeous.
Cecily Rizzo does floor and vault typically for the Kentucky Wildcats. Danny Sievers on the bars now for the Oklahoma Sooners.
KJ did say she would be back. I'm glad to see her tonight.
Danny has had an injury to her lower leg and then been dealing with the flu, so we weren't sure she was going to be competing at all. Great to see her making her debut for this season on the bars.
Beautiful Maloney. Right down to the low bar with a pack. Pirouette. Little feet separation there. Now just gearing up for the dismount. Nice. Small step. Small step.
Are little steps like that avoidable? How do they happen?
I know sometimes they are avoidable, but sometimes you have to take them. If you're a little bit over rotated, it's better to go in the right direction than going under.
Beautiful execution throughout the air with pointed toes and a full twisting double back. Tom Haley, the associate head coach at Oklahoma, giving her some notes. Ryan Noonan now. We saw her on bars in the last rotation. Here she is on vault after Cecily Rizzo led them off with a strong 9.85.
Different vault here. Same vault that Jordan Childs is competing this year in NCAA.
We talked about the variety of skills. We see a lot of forward flipping vaults from them, and that is really an unusual technique, isn't it?
Yes, that's a Yurchenko half on, tuck half off. Very different. You don't see that often.
Danny Sievers. Her score came in as a 9.85. Solid lead off. Here's Addison Feda. What a year she is having as a young freshman.
Just got her season high last weekend. And Addison can swing some bars.
Wow.
Beautiful release. Right down to the low bar with a pack. Pirouette right on top of the bar. Double layout, huge, nice stick.
Coach Kindler was hoping she'd add a little more confidence and take a little more risk in those handstands. Nice job today for the freshman out of Pennsylvania.
Let's take a look at this release. Look at the height on this.
Huge.
Wow, huge. Right down to the low bar. Legs together, that's exactly what the judges are looking for. Same with that dismount, legs together until her feet hit the floor.
You know,
what a great bar routine.
Judges watch it from the side. They can rarely see that leg separation, but from this sort of end zone camera, sometimes we can see form breaks that the judges don't see, but that was pretty darn great.
It was really good.
Mackenzie Wilson now after a 9.775 for Ryan Noonan.
Big vault. She's gotten 2 10s on this event, and we can see why with the height there. Just didn't quite get the landing.
Tuesday, we've got a men's basketball doubleheader at 7 Eastern. The #1 ranked Auburn Tigers take on Vandy. Then at 9, it's Texas A&M as they host Georgia. Catch all the action here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. That was one of those variety skills on vault. We'll talk more about that because we'll see a couple of more of those handspring pike front haps as we go to Lily Peterson. Addison Feda had a 9.875 in that second spot.
Maloney up to the high bar. Pack salto back down to the low bar. Nice pirouette. Just a little short on that last cast. See what she does here with the dismount. Stick. Very nice.
You mentioned those release moves. One of the requirements is that they have to do 2 flight elements and change the bars back and forth from the bars twice. She flies pretty high. Within that 10 degrees.
It's not too short.
Probably the judges
It's a
might
little
take
bit more open, probably.
5/100ths of a point, perhaps.
But that double out was really nice.
All right, Isabella McNally after Mackenzie Wilson had a 9.85.
Another great vaulter in this lineup. Love this front pike half. Oh my goodness, nice vault. She's gonna be happy about that one.
Now that, as we mentioned, is a different style vault than the Yurchenko we often see. What makes this so difficult?
coming on front like that, it's a blind landing, but then she halves out, so she can actually see the landing at the half, which is actually nice.
Typically, you don't fly as far from the vault table as you do on a Yurchenko full or full and a half. So sometimes those are scored a little lower in generally because it's hard to get a huge distance from the vault table, which the judges factor in.
Nice release from Faith.
Faith Torres.
Hack. Pirouette right on top of the bar. See if we can get another stuck dismount. Oh, so close, just a little foot.
She stuck her vault in the last rotation, 9975 for the junior out of Wisconsin. As we get ready to go back to vault for Kentucky, let's point out some of the things the judges are looking for.
So the start value, some of these vaults start from a 9.95, others start from a 10.0. Skylar's actually doing one that starts from a 10.0. The judges are also looking for clean execution and great landings.
Bagnelli had a 9.95.
Big 1.5. Pretty good landing there, too.
Boy, she stuck it in the mat like a dart going into a dartboard. She couldn't hardly move.
No. Let's take another look at this. Nice height. Wow. Great vault.
Coach Kim Garrison loved it, that's for sure. And they're coming off a big score for McNally. But talking about big scores, watch these two final competitors for the Sooners on bars. This is the sublime Audrey Davis.
She swings just about as good as you can swing. Look at those legs together the entire time. Look at this handstand line.
Reigning NCAA
nice
co-champion.
Nice back salto. Beautiful pirouette on top of the high bar. I mean on top of the low bar.
Oh, this is good.
This is really good.
14 times she's had 9.975s, only 110.
Wow.
Oh, could that be it?
Maybe.
Oh, my goodness. The crowd wants to see a 10, Trinity.
Look at her lines. And look at the height on this Jaeger.
Oh.
Absolutely.
And she floats it down. What about this dismount?
Here we go. Feet just a little staggered. I know that's something that the judges are like, but that bar routine is simply stunning.
Delaney Rodriguez, the final competitor for Kentucky on vault after Skylar Kilo-Wellham at a 9.925.
Yurchenko full to finish out the rotation. Not as much amplitude as maybe the judges are looking for, but she had that distance for sure.
Scores have been a bit high on vault for both teams, actually. And you heard the boos from the crowd in the background. That wasn't for Delaney Rodriguez. That was because the crowd was not happy with a 9.95 for the reigning co-champion of the nation, Audrey Davis. But Jordan Bowers, you see her average is over 9.9. She'll be their anchor competitor. The Sooners comfortably in the lead by over 3/10.
Nice handstand there. Lined Jaeger. Very nice. Jordan is just so dialed in her attention to detail. Wow, look at that pirouette. She almost got this stick last weekend. Will she get it here? Yeah, oh, so close. Just a tiny step forward.
She already had a 9.95 in vault in that first rotation. Bowers, it's money in the all-around, week in and week out.
Yes, she is. Nice handstand, right where we want it. Love how her hips are stretched open there. Dismount high, legs are perfectly together, just a little under-rotated there. But great routine otherwise.
All right, that completes the second of 4 rotations here in Norman, Oklahoma. It's the #1 Sooners hosting the #8 Kentucky Wildcats. Oklahoma has a lead of just under a half a point at the halfway point in this competition. Coming up, we're going to celebrate Girls and Women in Sports Day. Lots of quality gymnastics going on. Don't go away, folks. Girls and Women's in Sports Day. Bart Connor along with Trinity Thomas. When you look at that feature, by the way, which also features you, who do you think were the biggest influencers in your career?
I mean, my mom has been the biggest influence in my career. She is my rock. She is my everything. She was my confidence when I didn't have any. She loved me no matter how good I did out on the floor.
What do you say to a young lady who sees you as a role model now?
Yes, I was once you. And just keep trying, just keep working hard, be patient with yourself, and have faith you can do it.
Glad to be working with you today. Thank you. All right, let's take a look at the scores. The Sooners by 0.4 of a point have the lead. They are the #1 team in the country. We're at the halfway point in this competition. They will go to the balance beam, and you're not going to want to miss Faith Torres for the Sooners. Kentucky in the 3rd rotation will be on the floor exercise. They're powerful tumblers, and you're going to want to see Haley Davis when we return. It's time to huddle up, brought to you by Regions Bank. Tonight we're featuring Tim Garrison, the head coach at Kentucky in his 14th season. And he has taken this team from 25th in the country all the way up to the top. #6 was their highest place in the NCAA, but consistently in the top 10 for the last few years. Great job for Tim Garrison.
Meeting first on beat for Oklahoma, Audrey.
He's getting some notes there from Lou Ball, the associate head coach at the Oklahoma Sooners. Audrey Davis, she's really comfortable in this leadoff spot on beam, and this is an amazing event for the Sooners. Although last week against Arkansas, KJ Kindler wasn't really thrilled. She thought there was a few nerves and beam checks and balance checks. What is it about Audrey Davis on this event, Trinity?
Audrey is so calm on this event. She takes it one skill at a time, which is the most important thing to do. Handspring layout, nicely done. The choreography in her beam routine is beautiful. Nice front aerial.
Graduate student. She grew up in Oakland, Florida, but moved to the World Olympic Gymnastics Academy, WOGA, in Texas for coaching there.
KJ actually told Audrey, you might get a 10 on beam before you get 1 on bars this year. Nice split ring.
Getting her master's in sports administration. Very different than Jordan Bowers, who's very fierce. As you mentioned, Audrey is very cool and calm.
Yes.
Wow, what a
Nice double
start.
full dismount.
KJ Kindler loves it. Everybody knows how important that leadoff beam performance is.
Yes, and Audrey delivered. Nice hand lay.
Meeting first on Louisville, Kentucky, Delaney Rodriguez.
Ashley Kerr congratulating her. You know Ashley well. She was at Florida when you were there. Ashley now one of the assistant coaches at Oklahoma. Delaney Rodriguez now will lead off the visiting Wildcats on the floor. Remember, 6 athletes compete. You count just the best 5 of those 6 scores towards your team total. Kentucky trails Oklahoma by 0.4 of a point coming into this 3rd rotation.
Rudy to back layout. That's a different pass. A lot of gymnasts do it to a layout step out. She does it to a straight body back layout. Switch ring. Torjate full.
Delaney Trinity, the sophomore out of Las Vegas, Nevada. She's unfazed by these leadoff positions.
And she actually led off every event last year as a freshman. Round of handspring, double back. It's a little slide back there. She has a fun routine, and you can tell she's having fun with it. Round off 1.5. Layout half, straddle jump. Good leadoff routine.
Next Friday, we've got another Friday Night Heights doubleheader for you at 7 Eastern. Arkansas takes on Georgia. Then at 8:30, number 2 Florida hosts number 12 Auburn. Catch all the action here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. By the way, Arkansas knocked off Florida at home tonight. Earlier this evening, the first meet of our Friday night doubleheader. Sorry to tell you, Trinity, your Florida Gators dropped one to the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Yeah, well, Arkansas was the better team today.
9-9 was the score for Audrey Davis in that important leadoff spot. Here's Kira Wells.
A side aerial, but a switch leg side aerial.
How hard is that?
I honestly don't know because I've never tried, but I might just try one now. But she makes it look easy. I doubt it's as easy as she makes it look.
Kira Wells, one of
Switch leap, switch leap.
the most improved athletes on the team. Sophomore out of Kansas.
Handspring layout, fight. She fought for that.
Last year, she was 9 times in the beam lineup. Typically one of the more consistent in practice, but they're hoping to see that in the competition. Seeing a bit of nerves here today.
Round off 1.5. She got the stick. Nice.
What makes this switch leg aerial so hard, Trinity?
Well, for one, you have to re-square your hips up over the beam and come down with your other leg. Nice 1.5. Gets that stick.
Right in line with the beam. Judges look for height and how much in line with the beam you are on those dismounts. Isabella Magnelli, second up after Delaney Rodriguez led Kentucky off with a strong 9.825.
First pass, 1.5 layout step out. Look at how floaty that layout step out was. Just beautiful.
The 5th-year senior out of New York.
She has an upbeat floor routine, and Tim actually told us she's the loudest and most upbeat person, too. Double pike.
Ooh, I thought she was going to be short of rotation. She pulled it around.
Yes, nice straddle jump. I would have liked to see a little bit more airtime on that double pike, mostly for my nerves.
We're going to go back to the beam for the Sooners. Kira Wells had a 9.8, and Coach KJ Kindler is giving Addison Fada a couple of pointers before she goes. And Trinity, you have quite a history with this young lady. You guys both trained at the same club.
Yes, I've known Addie for a long time. Ever since I came to Prestige, she became like, I have 4 younger sisters, and she became a 5th younger sister. I love her. I adore her. She is super talented, and this is a great event for her.
So far today, she has 2 9.875s in the all-around. She's one of 4 Sooners today competing in the all-around. We had Audrey Davis scheduled to do the all-around, but she did not vault.
And Addison is just a freshman. However, she did defer a year, so she's a little bit older. Super mature. Nice handspring layout. She's so solid on this event. Side aerial, very nice. I love how sharp she finishes. Nice switch side. We used to play all the time in the gym.
She coached by her parents, Tony and Jen. They coached you as well. You told me they even had a farm. They had a whole bunch of animals, and your favorite was Hawthorne the goat. Is that not right?
Yes. Hawthorne was a great goat. This is a new dismount for Addison. And she gets the stick. Wow. What a beautiful beam routine.
She told KJ Kindler when she came to Oklahoma, she said, I'm just not good at beam. She
And
had that attitude.
She is great at beam. Absolutely great. Nice handspring layout replay. Look at how sharp she finishes all the way through her fingertips. I love that.
Cecily Rizzo now 2 straight 9.825s for Kentucky on the floor. So they're right now a half a point behind the Sooners in this third of 4 rotations. Remember, a half a point is the same amount that judges deduct for a fall. So if the
Nice
Sooners have
air
a fall,
time on that
this
double tuck.
could be tied up.
That was a beautiful 1.5 to front layout. Beautiful leaps.
Cecily Rizzo was not originally scheduled to be in the lineup earlier this week, but because of Jillian Prokaski being out with the illness, she got the call to do floor today.
Double pike. Oh, out of bounds.
See the yellow flag go up in the background. That's indicating she stepped over the line, which is an additional 1/10 of a point deduction.
Yes, just a little too much power there, taking her back a little bit more.
Coach Garrison said she hasn't quite hit her stride, but a great opportunity for her tonight going against the #1 team in the country.
So here's that first pass. Nice height on that double tuck. And then you see here on this last pass, she's just a little too long. Sometimes when you're tired, you might take an extra step or a little bit longer step, and that'll cause you to just be a little over that line.
You're allowed to step on the line, but any part of the foot that's over the line incurs a deduction. Jordan Bowers averages over 9.9 on beam, coming after Addison Feta had a 9.85. I mentioned earlier the Sooners have not yet hit that 198 mark. That's a 9.9 average across the team counting scores. In general this year, the scores have been a little bit lower. We'll talk a little bit more about that. The 198 is a 9.9 average on all 4 events for the 20 scores contributing to the team total. But Jordan Bowers always delivers for the Sooners.
Yes, she's great on this event as well as all of the events. And you can just see in her eyes the confidence. Handspring layout, so solid.
9 career perfect 10s, but she has yet to get a perfect 10 on this event.
But she is more than capable.
You get a 10 on every event. You earn what is known as the Gym Slam.
Yes.
believe there's only 14 gymnasts in the NCAA who have gotten the Gym Slam. Trinity, I think you got 4 or 5 of them, didn't you?
I think 5.
Wow.
Just the dismount left here. Just a little smallest slide.
Bowers has a 9.95 on vault and a 9.85 on bars today.
Let's look at this series here. Back handspring, layout step out. Sometimes in slow-mo, you can see things that the judges don't see with the naked eye. Double full dismount, just the tiniest shuffle backwards.
Jordan Bowers, the senior, and providing enormous leadership. She's known as a fierce leader for the OU team. Quite different than someone like Audrey Davis, who is kind of like team mom. Skylar Kilo Wilhelm now. Looks like the score came in for Cecily Rizzo as a 9.7. You see that score grayed out. That 9.7 would be the low score they would drop if they have higher counting scores into their team total. So keep an eye on that 9.8 for Kira Wells for OU on beam. That's the low score that will be dropped, and Cecily Rizzo's 9.7 for Kentucky on floor.
Skylar's going to open up with front handspring, front double full. A little too much power there, but covered it up with dance well.
Did her club training at West Des Moines, Iowa. What do you like about her style on floor, Trinity?
It honestly reminds me a little bit of my style
That's what
on
I was
floor.
thinking. Similar poses as well.
Yes. And she uses her eyes, which I love.
You think she stole a couple of your moves?
I don't care. She's doing them great. Round off 1.5 front layout. Stunning. Cool ending too. Another look at this last pass here. Round off 1.5, legs perfectly together. Beautiful front layout, controlled lunge. And this nice ending that I could never do. I'm not that flexible.
Lily Peterson coming after Jordan Bowers had a 9.9 for her beam effort. Sooners have 2 9.9s, a 9.8 and a 9.85. So currently that 9.8 is grayed out. That would be the score they hope to replace. Oklahoma typically in that 49.5 range, meaning their 5 scores average out to 9.9.
Back handspring layout step out. Little off, but she saved it. And you could tell from where we are, from our camera angle. The judges can't tell so much. Switch side. Side summy.
What do you
Very
think the
solid
deduction
there.
would be on a bobble like that? Up to 3/10 perhaps?
Definitely up to 3/10. Definitely an impressive save. Round off double full, step back.
Check out this shot of KJ Kindler in the background trying to help Lily stay on the beam.
Whatever she did, it worked.
next on the floor for Kentucky, Preston Rose.
Kreslin Brose will be next up after the 9.825 for Skylar Kilo-Wilhelm. Brose, the sophomore from North Carolina.
And talk about a fun routine. This is a cool routine, and she shows it off.
This is where she shines.
Round off double pike. A lot of the times you see round off handspring double pike. She does it straight out of a round off and gets some great height.
Already with a season high 9.9 on this event.
So much fun. And her teammate in the corner doing it with her. Front handspring, front full front layout. Nice control there. What I love about this routine is the difficulty. She's going to end here with a front handspring, front double full.
Oh, that's tough.
That is tough. Just a little under rotated, so she had to lunge backwards. But what a great routine.
What a performer.
This is just so fun. Look, her teammate getting into it too. And then let's look at this last pass. A lot of girls do this as their first pass, and she's doing it as her third.
Takes a lot of endurance to do something like that at the end of the routine.
It absolutely does.
Okay, the score for Lily Peterson now is grayed out for the Sooners. That is the low score that they would like to drop, and that puts a little extra pressure on Faith Torres, although the Sooners are comfortably in the lead. But Faith is good here. We'll say she's a NCAA co-champion on this event.
Nice wolf jump.
What a lineup. They have a leadoff champion in the NCAA and Audrey Davis, and an anchor competitor in Faith Torres, who was the other co-champion.
That is a difficult series. Side aerial, layout, step out. Little off. She kept it on the beam. Nice full turn. I love how her toe was pointed straight to her knee. It's the little things. Switch leap, straddle jump. Dismount. Very floaty, nice step
Yeah,
landing.
I love the height on that. Gainer full off the side. Floaty is right.
Here's that side aerial layout step out. A little off, but she stays on that beam. Another angle. You can see her fighting with her toes there.
And the last defender on the floor for Kentucky, Haley Davis.
4 inches does not leave a lot of room for error.
Kreslin Brose had a 9.85. Haley Davis, the fifth-year senior, put 9.9 or higher in floor in the last 8 straight meets. Remember, the score they want to replace is the 9.7, so an opportunity for Kentucky right here.
Opens up with a double pike.
Oh, nice.
Controlled lunge back. Nice jumps. That was a switch side straddle half. One and a half front layout, beautifully done.
Last year, Kentucky just got edged out of making the NCAAs as team competitor, but she went and qualified as an individual to the NCAAs.
Last pass here. Nice double tuck. There's a reason she's in that anchor spot, and she delivered.
Her floor music was Ladies of the 80s, all the lead artists in that music selection, prominent women rockers.
1.5 front layout. Love the control during that pass. And here's that last pass. Nice landing.
So that will wrap up the third of 4 rotations. Faith Torres' score for the Sooners over there on the beam. That 9.825 replaces the 9.725 of Lily Peterson. Coming up, Trini and I will check in on the news and notes around the country, take a look at the SEC Gymnast of the Week, and we'll get you set for next Friday's gymnastics action. When Friday Night Heights presented by Sprouts. Friday Night Heights is presented, joined by Florida All-American Trinity Thomas. The Sooners have the lead over the visiting Wildcats by 0.4 of a point going into the final rotation. Take a look at some of the news and notes around the conference. All SEC schools, 9 of them, are ranked in the top 15 for the second consecutive week. A big night for Arkansas at home. They upset number 2 Florida. Their second win over a top 3 opponent this season, and right now Georgia leads Auburn through the third rotation after an outstanding effort on floor. Let's take a look at some of the SEC gymnasts of this past week, Trinity.
SEC Co-Gymnast of the Week, Jordan Bowers from Oklahoma, recorded a season-high 39.725. And her teammate Faith Torres posted a season-high of the same score, 39.725. SEC Specialist of the Week, Helen Hugh from Missouri, earned the highest score on beam by a visiting gymnast at LSU in nearly a year. Kaylin Chio from LSU registered a career-high 39.65 to win her first collegiate all-around title.
Wow, I loved that.
You know I'm loving it. We having fun with it. The crowd loves it. You know I'm loving it. This got me feeling brand new.
They certainly love her a lot.
Feeling brand new.
And next Friday we have 3 big meets. It's Arkansas, Georgia, Auburn, Florida, and Oklahoma versus LSU, number 1 versus number 3. Here's our score. After 3 of 4 rotations, the Sooners with the lead by 0.4 of a point. They will go to the floor. The visiting Kentucky Wildcats will be on the beam. Coming up in the 4th rotation, on that beam is their own beam queen, Isabella Magnelli. And on the floor for the Sooners, fierce and competitive Jordan Bowers.
Me feeling brand new. Got me feeling brand new.
Mark Connor and Trinity Thomas back here at the Lloyd Noble Center, set for the 4th and final rotations. The number 1 team in the country, the Sooners, have a lead of 0.4 of a point over Kentucky, who goes to the beam. Oklahoma will be on the floor. We mentioned there are several athletes competing in the all-around tonight, 2 for Kentucky and 4 for the Sooners. Currently, Jordan Bowers is the all-around leader with a 29.7. In this 4th and final rotation, Kentucky starts on the beam with Delaney Rodriguez. Now, Trinity, they trail Oklahoma by 0.4 of a point. Can they make it up on beam?
Absolutely. I mean, we always say a meet is not over until the very last routine. And so they can be great on beam. But it won't be easy. Back handspring, back layout, step out. Beautiful.
You don't see a lot of triple series on beam, do you, in college gymnastics?
No, they're very difficult, and most gymnasts don't take the risk. Full turn.
Rodriguez, the sophomore from Las Vegas, is unfazed by those leadoff spots. Loves it, in fact.
Well, she looks calm up there, and she looks so confident. She's even smiling a little bit.
Season high 9.9 on this event so far. Wow.
1.5, just a slight hop backwards.
What do you think of this triple series? You mentioned it's riskier than a typical double series.
Yeah, so she does a handspring layout. Anytime you add another skill, there's more room for error. And she does it incredibly there.
Good start for the Wildcats on B. Audrey Davis now will lead off the Sooners on floor as she did on beam. That last rotation, she led them off with a 9-9. She's certainly capable of that and more here on floor. Fabulous event for the Sooners.
Front handspring, front double full. Nice control into choreography. Beautiful leaps. Round off 1.5, front full. Again, the control on the landings. Audrey's having fun out there.
KJ Kindler picked some really interesting music this year. I asked you earlier about music choices. You said it wasn't necessarily your forte.
No, it was either my roommate or one of my teammates or the coaches picked my music. I just knew what I didn't want.
Oh, yeah.
Super.
Graduate student Audrey Davis.
What a great leadoff routine for the Sooners.
Talk about consistency. Coming into this meet, she has hit 229 of 230 routines in her whole career. Only one missed routine in 5 years for the Sooners, and that was early in her freshman year on the beam. What a rock she has been.
Doesn't get much better than that.
Kreslin Bros coming after Delaney Rodriguez had a 9.85.
Now, balance beam is consisted of dance and acro skills. So you see they're dancing here, and she's gonna do a front tuck. That's an acro skill, and that was a beautiful front tuck. And then it also has connections as well. Nice front toss to back handspring step out. I'm still on that front tuck. That was huge. Switch leap, feet jump.
You mentioned some of the requirements. If you do the base requirements as well as the special requirements on every event, you start at a 9.4. To get all the way to a 10 in terms of start value, you have to do extra degree of difficulty in combinations.
Yes, and one of those combinations was her series. She did that front toss to back handspring step out. And then that full turn was a dance element. Just the dismount here. Round off 1.5, step on the landing. Would have liked to see a little more amplitude on that 1.5.
Remember, they're trailing the Sooners, so they're going to need every stuck landing, and honestly, they're going to need the Sooners to stumble a little bit on floor if they're going to come back in this last rotation. However, there's more than just a team battle at stake here, because they're also trying to get a high away score, and that's how they build their scores to the postseason. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we come back to Kentucky. Here is Addison Feda after Audrey Davis led them off with a strong 9.875.
I may be biased, but I love this routine for Addison. Front handspring, front double full.
Whoa!
A little too much sauce there.
What is it you like about this routine, Trinity?
All the intrinsic movements. KJ is so good at doing very different routines, and it's an acquired taste. I personally like this one. But Addison performs it very well. See her take a deep breath there. Easy on this, 2.5. All right.
Now, you guys grew up training together. Did you anticipate that she'd be contributing like this to the #1 team in the country?
Oh my goodness, yes. Addison has been great since she was little, and she just got better and better each year. And I call her a cat because she always knows where she is and she lands on her feet. Switch leap and then switch side, straddle full.
A lot of confidence in her choreography for a freshman.
Yes. Great routine for
Oh,
Addison.
nice. From Wrightsville, Pennsylvania, Addison Feda.
Little bit too much juice on that, but she covered it up well. And here we're going to see a front through to 2.5. Same thing, but again, she's solid.
Tom Haley giving her a couple of notes. Back to the beam now for Kentucky. Sharon Lee out of Texas. Sophomore. I mentioned earlier about scores. The way these teams qualify to their postseason is not by a win-loss record, but in fact by a thing called an NQS, the National Qualifying Score. So even if Kentucky takes a loss here today, they can still come out with a win of sorts in that they have had a high away score, which will contribute to their postseason opportunities.
Yes, absolutely. And Sharon Lee just did a nice triple series.
Ooh.
A little off on that full turn, pulled it back. That's a simple skill, but it can be very difficult sometimes.
It is one of those special requirements on the event. You have to do a simple full turn. And how many times do we see gymnasts wobble on that skill? Probably one of the easiest skills in the routine.
Yes, often. I've definitely wobbled on my fair share. I even forgot it once.
You just forgot it?
Yes, Jenny was not happy. Round off 1.5, just a little low on that landing.
I want to hear more about that. So you finished the beam routine, and your coach goes, Dave, what about the full turn?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. And it happened to me in college. So when these little girls forget their routines at these meets that I do, and they're bawling or so upset, I'm like, it's okay. It happens to everybody, specifically me. Maybe not as much to like, but it happens to everybody.
Sharon Lee happy with that effort. We go back to Oklahoma's on the floor. Addison Feda had a 9.9. You're going to love this routine. Elle Miller. Talk about interesting, dramatic choreography.
Which I love. And it's choreography from head to toe, all the way through your fingertips, using your face, using your eyes, it's everything. Front through to double tuck, she is out of bounds on that.
Coach Kindler said, watch how many times she winks at her teammates during the floor routine.
Front layout, front 1.5, that was just stunning. The height on that 1.5.
KJ told us the other day this music is Suicide Squad. She said she had it in her playlist for years, but she couldn't find the right gymnast to do it. And when Elle Miller came along, she said she's the one.
Yep, I don't think she could have found a better one.
Oh, man. Not everybody can pull that choreography off.
No, but she does it very well. Here's a look at this first pass. Front through to double tuck. You see she's close to the corner already. When she goes to lunge, all the way out.
Chesney Bennett, the freshman out of South Carolina. Talk about a fit family. Both of her parents are competitive bodybuilders. Wow.
Nice full turn. I actually had the privilege of working with Chesney at a camp a few years ago, and she was the cutest little thing. So sweet. Handspring, lay.
Nice.
Beautifully done. And she was talented then, and she's talented now.
She's really second only to Isabella McNally in terms of beam expertise on this team.
She did break that connection there, but she went back and did it again, so she will get credit. Last week was actually her debut on beam, so this is only her second competitive beam routine in college. Nice stuck gainer back pike dismount. Here we go with this series again. This is a back handspring layout, even more difficult than the back handspring layouts that we've seen from our teammates previously.
That's the kind of combination that earns those valuable extra difficulty points to get the gymnast to that 10-0 start value. Nicely done for the young lady in her first performance on beam. Lily Peterson for the Sooners after Elle Miller had a 9.8. That score is grayed out. That's the score the Sooners would hope to replace.
Can hear everyone clapping in here. Ooh, she stayed in. She was close to that line, but she was not over it. This is a fun routine for everyone in here. Made eye contact with the camera that time. Front handspring, front double full. What a fun routine.
Now, some gymnasts elect to do 2 tumbling passes and some do 3. Explain the strategy there and what do you prefer?
Yes, so some gymnasts do 2 and some do 3. When you do 2, you do need extra bonus. So you might find that in your turns or in your leaps. When you're doing 3, you don't need as much in your turns or your leaps. It's personal preference.
What did you like?
I did a little bit of both. I did 3 passes and I did 2 passes. I personally like the dance part of having 2 passes. So if you have 2-pass routine, it's important to get that dance. But if you have big tumbling, we love that 3rd pass.
Skylar Kilo Wilhelm now coming after Chesney Bennett had a 9.75. That is grayed out there. That's the score they hope to replace. Once again, Kentucky hoping to mark a high away score, which will help them in their postseason qualifying.
Front aerial, back handspring, layout, step out, no wobble. Full turn. Switch leap, feet jump. Every move is so calculated. She looks so confident up there.
What do you like about her style?
I honestly think it's very similar to mine.
Mm-hmm.
She's fun to watch. Side arrow 1.5. I actually also competed that dismount as well. Small step on the landing. That's a tough dismount. So going from a side aerial to a 1.5, you see a lot of round off 1.5s, and it gives you a lot of power. From a side aerial, you really got to get that back leg in and that chest up to rotate that 1.5.
Congratulations there from Chad Weiss, their assistant coach at Kentucky. Also doing an outstanding job. Okay, look out, folks. Here's Jordan Bowers.
Jordan Bowers is just one of my all-time favorites, and actually one of my friends, too. I love this routine. Talk about perform. She can do it.
Some of you watching might know that my wife is Nadia Comaneci, who was a pretty good gymnast in her own right. She said last week when she watched this routine, she goes, that is a 10.
Jordan is a 10. Wow. Wow. Front double full, front tuck. I don't think I've seen it done better than that. She's so intense.
Big back tumbling pass.
She can fly high. Oh, just a little short. I think she was trying a little too hard to land it. Just anticipated that landing too quickly. This is such a cool routine.
What do you like about it?
I like the intensity. I like that it's eerie. I like that she gives everything that she has to every position, every movement.
Averaging 9.9 today through her 3 events. Jordan Bowers.
Let's look at this first pass here. Front handspring, front double full, punch front. She could have stuck that clean if she wanted to. Double pike just came up a little short. I think she was trying too hard. It happens. She's a veteran.
Score for her of a 9.525 or more will secure the win for the Oklahoma Sooners. That will be no problem. So here is Kentucky's beam queen, Isabella Magnelli. She's the anchor competitor. You see the 9.75 is the grade out score. They hope to replace her score with something that Magnelli can get, and Magnelli is certainly capable.
She has a great handspring lay. It looks like that every time she does it. Switch leap, straddle jump. You see how those splits are 180? That's exactly what the judges are looking for. Front aerial, very nice. Love to see her smile up there. Full turn, nicely done. Just the dismount, gainer pike, stuck. Very nice routine to end the night. Nice. 180 on that straddle jump there.
Beautiful execution in toe point and extension.
That was an exclamation point on her night.
She has always give a big impact on her beam performance as she delivered tonight in that anchor spot. Jordan Bowers for the Sooners had a 9.9 before. Faith Torres now coming up as their competitor.
And we were
anchor competitor. 9.95 would win the all-around for her tonight.
And we were just talking about flying high, and Faith can do exactly that. Let's take a look at this huge double layout.
This young lady has some pop in those legs. Wow.
Very nice. That's my favorite skill, so I love to see a good double layout.
I remember yours was so high, I think your whole Florida team could walk under you while you were doing it.
Well, there's a funny story to how I learned that. But we don't have time to talk about it on air.
You can tell us later.
Torjete will full.
Well, her leaps are sky high.
Front through. Double tuck. Nice height.
Oh.
Wow, just about stuck.
Sooners have 3 9-9s on floor so far.
Very nice.
And when you think about it, women's gymnastics, 3 of the 4 events are really leg events: vault, beam, and floor. So if you have that kind of springs, you can score well on 3 of the 4 events. Look at that height.
Absolutely impeccable. Double tuck, nearly stuck.
Boy, she
The
was
team
gripping her
loves that.
toes into the mat.
Oh, yes.
So
Great
the Sooners
job.
will get another easy victory, the #1 team in the country at home. They will not break that 198 mark, however, which was the 9-9 average, but they will be winners of this competition. And it looks like Kentucky, with a 197.225, will get a strong away score, which is goal number 2 here. Oklahoma 197.825 because it's a 9.95 for Faith Torres in that anchor spot. She also wins today's all-around competition. Great night here in Norman, Oklahoma. We'll come back to wrap this one up in a minute. Floyd Noble Center in Norman, Oklahoma. The Sooners with a 197.825 get the victory and will hold on to that #1 ranking. They beat Kentucky tonight, the #8 team in the country. Last week, the Sooners were lights out on bars, and tonight it was vault.
Lily started them off. Nice 1.5 step forward there. Faith stuck 1.5. Huge. Oh, I thought that score should have been higher. And then Jordan, another stuck 1.5. Absolutely incredible. Those were 3 great vaults.
Faith Torres had a 39.625. That wins the all-around. It's a career high for her. Oklahoma gets the win over Kentucky. Kentucky accomplishes a season-high road score, which will factor in their qualifying for the postseason. And Oklahoma gets their 899th program win. KJ Kindler has 518 of these victories. Wow, what a night. Trinity, what did you think of your first experience broadcasting?
I thought it was a lot of fun. After the first part, I got settled in. It took me a little bit, but it was great.
What did you think of the Sooners' victory tonight?
Oh, they did a great job. They always do a great job.
All right, well, I'm sorry that your Florida Gators lost tonight to Arkansas, but that's how it is in the SEC.
Yes, it is.
This is a tough conference, and so the best in the country are seen every week on the SEC network. So our final score is the Oklahoma Sooners 197.825, Kentucky 197.225. Catch another Friday Night Heights doubleheader on Valentine's Day starting at 7 Eastern. For Trinity Thomas and our entire crew, I'm Bart Connor. So long from Norman.